Okay, I'll do that. Somebody who's not muted.
Yeah.
Okay, just a second. It's Orlando, so let me mute him. Okay, so take two. Here we go again. And I'm not really used to Zoom. I'm more of a Meet person. So if anything goes wrong, just unmute and just speak up. Okay, excellent. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Saima. And this is, we just put it a fancy name, take two, because we have three amazing stories here, people who passed CTA in 2 attempts, 2 or more attempts. And today is actually a special date. I'm very fond of numbers. So 11th day of the 11th month, and it could have been palindrome if the numbers aligned right. But anyway, so really excited to have 3 amazing CTAs, newly minted CTAs who are enjoying their celebrity status. Lilith, Chetan, and James. So okay. We'll need to mute somebody. Okay, thanks. So let's continue. Yeah, so again, the reason I wanted to do this is I've been off Saima presentation duties for a while, and I thought you might actually kick me out of the group. So I thought I'll just be a little more active and stay in here. So this is a longer session, about 2 hours. And apart from the usual stuff, we talk about journeys and we'll do things. I also planned a few fun activities, which we do a lot in our in-person events in India. And I know a lot of other groups do that as well. And I'm hoping that everybody would enjoy them. And since we have a typically smaller audience, I actually want to know people better. It's always good to know who's where in terms of their CTA journey. So we'll not get right into it, but we'll actually do some introductions first. So kickoff, icebreaker, the overall Saima vision, 3 amazing journeys with our guests, a Q&A. And then this last 2 are the fun part, where we'll actually have a rapid fire with the 3 panelists. And trust me, they asked me, they bribed me for questions. I didn't reveal them, so we'll see who wins. And the best part is the audience actually gets to decide who actually wins. And then lastly, to sweeten the deal for the audience, because I'm hoping you'll stay till the end for the full 2 hours, we'll have a Kahoot quiz. And if Salesforce is helpful, then we'll also ship some swags over to you. Okay, so yeah, as I said, we really want to know each other better. So whoever is in the audience, I think the best part about these groups is we don't have 250 people or 100 people attending these. These are short. And then almost everybody here is a Salesforce architect, and in some way or the other, either on the Salesforce CTA journey or planning to be there. So we would love to know your name, which city, which country you're from, your journey to CTA so far, and one fun fact about you. And it will be most appreciated if you keep it under 30 seconds. So I think let's start with our 3 panelists. Ladies first, Lilith, you go first, under 30 seconds.
Okay, wow. So under 30 seconds. So my name is Lilith. I live in Aalst, which is in Belgium, which is in Europe, in case, it's really small. So I guess you can miss it. I just became CTA. I will share my entire journey later. And a fun fact about me is that I'm full of scratches because we got a new kitten and he's still getting used to kind of, love, let's say.
Thanks,
so, yeah.
Thanks, Lilith. Thanks, Lilith. Yeah, 30-second limitation is another trick to get people CTA ready, because you need to keep your answers short. Okay, next, James.
Hey everyone, James Quinn. I live in San Diego, California in the US. I've prepared for CTA for a long time before passing it. Finally passed. Can't believe it's real still. A fun fact, since that, I've been learning how to skateboard and also roller skate, because I like to have a beginner's mindset and learn new stuff that I'm terrible at. So that's me.
Great. Chetan?
So yeah, hi everyone, my name is Chetan. I am based in Berlin, in Germany. So just like Lilith and James, I'm also I finished my journey to the CTA just last month. And a fun fact about me, I would say, yeah, I share something common with our host today, Gaurav. Yeah, I'm not talking about the MVP. I wish I was, but yeah, we attended the same college back in India. So yeah.
Yeah, it was a pleasant surprise. I mean, the world is indeed a small place, and I never imagined I'll find another alumni in Germany from my college, and that too working on Salesforce.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go quickly with the rest of the folks, and will not allow people who are who are speaking out of turn. Okay, I'll go alphabetically in the list that I see, and if you don't want to speak up, I'll just wait for 10 seconds and then we'll move on to the next person. Crystal, do you quickly want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Could you hear me? Can I?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm Crystal. I'm based in Calgary, Canada, actually. So today actually is also our holiday, Remembrance Day. So I'm actually on the CTA journey. I just started back in August. Then because work actually leaves us behind, but I'm still, Lilith really keep encouraging me, you should do this. Then also talk to James, also, yeah, so saying, keep doing this, you will get it. So I think I keep that mindset right now. So keep doing, keep trying. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Crystal. Alex?
No, sorry, I wasn't aware that you have to talk. So my name is Alex. I have seen this invitation in LinkedIn. I was curious to join, to listen to. So I live in Belgium, originally from Ukraine. In CTA is not my ambition so far, but I'm curious how it goes. So joined. And fun fact, I'm wearing drums right now.
Oh, wow.
I didn't expect that. Yeah, we'll have to talk. That's it. Yeah, so as far as well as
maybe if we have time, maybe you can play for us for 5 minutes towards the end. That would be lovely.
I'm still learning. I cannot really demo this so far.
Sure. Sure.
But Alex, can you do like brum tish? Because we will need that if we tell jokes, so that people know that I'm making jokes, right?
You hear in my headset only. So it's electric one.
Yeah.
Okay, too bad.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Let's move on. Bala?
Yeah, actually, I'm from Denver, Colorado. My name is Balasundar Kumar Sulayappan, and I'm planning to prepare for CTA. And some of the designer certifications I need to complete in order to start with this journey. But I'm really excited to see what other team members are doing, or how they are achieving CTA. And also doing a gardening is my favorite thing. So that's my fun fact.
That's great. Thank you. Falk or Fact? Not sure of the pronunciation. Sorry about that. Do you want to go next?
Sure. Sorry for being late. So I was stuck in a different call. Yeah. So I'm Falk. I'm from Germany, Munich, actually. Yeah, and for me, the journey to the CTA started quite some time ago. Last year I didn't pass, so this year I'm with Flow Republic with the training, and I will try to do the 602 in a couple of weeks, and then let's see what happens. And fun fact about me. Oh, sorry, I don't have something available. Maybe I will have something in a couple of minutes. So
sure, no problem. Yeah, welcome. Aman.
Hey, hi everyone. Thank you so much, Gaurav sir, for giving me an opportunity to introduce. So yeah, my name is Aman, and I'm from Varanasi, India, which is the holy city of India, and I'm very much in the initial stage of my journey to CTA. So all this craze started when I saw you in the park dreaming. I came to know about what that CTA is all about. So yeah, that was the platform. And yeah, fun fact about me is, yes, I just need to explore which is the fun fact about me. I'm not sure about that. Thanks.
Sure. Thank you. Anish?
Hi, Gaurav. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so I'm based in India, Maharashtra. So I'm actually running parallel journey, I would say, for CTA. I am yet to complete my system architect, one more set pending for that. But I'm kind of warming up for CTA, watching those all the preparation videos, attending these webinars and everything. Fun fact, I don't have anything right now. Just just go with the flow. That's what I am.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, thank you. Anil?
Thank you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Anil Vaddari. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I went through a lot of CTA mock interviews, which motivates me, and thanks for this session also. It really helps me in few interviews also recently. And I completed my application architect and working on the system architect. And the fun fact is, whenever I get time, I just do cooking to experiment myself. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
That's great. That's great. Bhavna?
Hi, I'm Bhavna Singh. I'm near Washington, D.C. in Maryland. My journey so far, I've finished the pyramid. That's about it. And trying to attend a lot of these, especially because I just love hanging out with, all of you guys who are CTAs or wannabe CTAs. And fun fact, during pandemic, I learned to watercolor to eliminate stress.
Yeah, a couple of other things. Bhavna is a Salesforce MVP as well as a certified instructor as well. So next, Daya.
Hey, hi. Myself, I'm working from India currently. I'm working on both system architect and application architect. Some of them are completed, but yeah, looking for long-term vision of CTA, and that's why I'm here. Fun fact: I like to travel within the city. I'm from Pune in India.
Great. Welcome. Doria?
Hi. So I'm located, I did it. Today I'm located in France, but in fact, I'm born in Belgium, like Lilith. In my CTA journey, I have one left certification, the identity, that I will pass in a couple of days, I hope. And the fact about me is that, in fact, Salesforce is my third passion. The first one is astrophysics, and the second one is drawing and painting.
That's great. And you have probably the biggest astro in the world. I see you hugging that astro in the picture. Okay, who's next? Edward?
Yes, hello everyone. Yes, my name is Edward, or in short, Edi. I'm based in Germany, in Munich. And the fun fact about me is that I'm actually working on the project together with Chetan. So one of the Europeans' biggest project, and it's a big pleasure to have Chetan on this project and work together with him. And the other fun fact is that it was 1 month ago, I completed all the badges in Trailhead, so I'm waiting for the new stuff coming out there to have the new stuff accomplished.
And like all the badges, like you completed Trailhead.
Exactly.
Wow, that is
so
impressive.
I run out of them, so I'm waiting for new stuff coming in there. And yeah, the system architect, I accomplished this in this July. And I try to be committed, or I will fully commit the next year for going the CTA journey.
That's great. But all Trailhead badges, that is seriously impressive. Yeah, amazing. Moving on, Eric.
Hi. I live in Israel, in Haifa, work as Salesforce architect. I started my journey a few years ago by passing different certifications. And currently I'm preparing for evaluation exam. And some maybe not so fun fact about me. So I work in almost last 2 years from home because of COVID. So trying to start my day from going to swimming pool. So it helps to wake up.
Yeah, absolutely. Good strategy. Fedor?
So my name is Fedor Golovanov. I live in Moscow, Russia. My CTA journey just started about a half year ago, but I have completed system architect and application architect for almost 3 years ago. And fun fact about me is that I'm playing badminton on professional level for about 20 years already. That's it.
Oh, wow. That is seriously impressive as well.
Hey,
Gavin?
Gaurav. Yeah, sorry
Yeah,
to
Nish.
interrupt, Gaurav. I just have one question. Someone told completed all the trailhead badges. So I'm just curious to know how many badges they have.
I think that was
I'm
Edward.
just checking it, and it's 1,439. I'm still blown away by this information.
Close to
Yeah.
2,000. Yeah.
Edward,
Oh
is
my
that the
God.
number you have? I think there are a few more. There are a few ones which keep coming and keep going. So Edward might have an accurate count since he's done them all.
Great. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on, Gavin.
Hi everyone. So yeah, my name's Gavin Farmer. I'm from a small town in UK just south of London. My journey to CTA so far, so I actually sat the board just over a month ago and received a section retake, so hence why joining this call, very, very timely for myself. A fun fact is, maybe not that fun, but I ran London Marathon for charity 2 months ago. Thanks.
That is fantastic. Harshila? And in case someone doesn't want to speak, you can always write your details in the chat as Rupesh did. So thank you, Rupesh.
Hello everyone. My name is Harshila Shivai. I'm from Pune, India. And about my Salesforce CTA journey, I have completed application architect certificate and currently preparing for integration architect for a system architect track. And I have around 11 years of experience. And fun fact about me, during my engineering days, I was in Airwing NCC, and that time I have flew aircraft as a co-pilot. Okay, and I love to travel, I love to trek, and I learned cooking during the pandemic period. That's it about me. Thank you.
That's great. So we have marathoners, we have pilots, we have badminton players. Very talented pool of people. Insa, do you want to go next?
Yeah, hi everyone. I come from Senegal, but currently I'm in France. So I'm on the way to become a CTA. So I'm learning for that. Currently I'm preparing the Sales Cloud certification. I already have 3 ones, a builder and other ones. And now I'm here to discover how it works. Probably I will learn from you. Thanks.
That's great. Thank you. Jagmohan?
Hi everyone,
Yeah, go ahead.
this is Mohan, and I am based in Amritsar, a city in Punjab, India. And I am on my CTA journey. I have so far completed integration architect on the system architect. And the fun fact about me is I was a expert Android developer before I switched to Salesforce ecosystem. And another fun fact is I am working from I'm a independent consultant, and I've been working from Amritsar for the past 9 years.
That's great. Yeah, so for those who don't know, Amritsar is one of the holiest cities of India, a beautiful place. So if you ever happen to visit India, make sure Amritsar is on your itinerary. Next, we'll move to Jefferson.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Jefferson Chavez. I'm based in Dublin, Ireland. I'm originally from Brazil. My journey so far has been that I finished the system architect side of the pyramid and working now for the other half. So probably really start the journey next year. And one fun fact about me is that I already did skydiving, but I'm actually afraid of heights. So
that's great. Next, we'll move to Janida.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Jonida. I'm from Berlin. I think I finished my prerequisites 2020 in October, and just started in September Flow Republic program. And yeah, fun fact, maybe, yeah, I'm co-organizing the Benelux study group for CTA. So if you want to join and be active, just contact me. That's it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I cannot
It's a
recommend that one.
fantastic
Yes,
group,
sorry.
yeah.
Highly recommended from both Gaurav, myself, and I think any CTA or most of the recent CTAs. This is a really, really good group, and it helps so much to get the practice that you need. So thanks so much, Jonida. Really so helpful that the group is there.
Yeah, one of the most mature groups, and I think the quality of mocks and discussions is very high standard, and several success stories out of that group. I think Vinay is one, and I'm sure there are several others on the way, including Georgie and few others as well. Next, we'll move to Lola.
I just want to say one thing. Yeah,
Sure.
you're all welcome. So I will send a link where you can try to, yeah. So you would need to the prerequisites, basically the pyramid, to have been done, and also to say that you will be active, like a judge or someone that is presenting. That is something that you have to do as a prerequisite there. But
Sure.
yeah, then you're welcome.
Sure. Lola? I don't see Lola unmuted, so we'll move on. Meera was one of the organizers of Saima. Meera, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I am Meera Nair. I am from Trivandrum, India. So I completed my prerequisites already, but I seriously started my preparation 2 months back and still a long way to go. And fun fact about me, yeah, even if I am not a professional dancer, I still love Indian classical dance. And I was just doing a video shooting with my kids just now for office Diwali celebration. Then only I remember we have a meeting now. Yeah, that's about me.
That's great. Thanks, Meera. We'll move to Neha, who's again out of the trio. She's the third organizer of Saima and a future CTA. Go for it, Neha.
Yeah. I'm Neha Naguri. I'm from Udaipur, Rajasthan. Me, Rupesh, Gaurav, we all are neighbors. We are from the western part of India. And my journey in CTA so far is I completed all my prerequisites in the pyramid last year. I did my CTO and CTA 602 and passed it last month. And I'm currently waiting for my final review board dates. And fun fact about me is I'm a movie buff. Before COVID, I used to watch movies 2-3 times a week or sometimes every weekend in theaters. But after COVID, Netflix has become my new buddy. I almost watch it daily. Even with all the work, deliveries, preparation, I have to watch anything, a sitcom, a movie, or anything. And I love it. With that, I'm a fan of dancing, traveling, driving, cooking, jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah, so, and that's how I would say if you ask me how I'm at Salesforce. So yeah, jack of all trades, but master of none. So yeah, that's all about me. Thank you, everyone.
Great. Yeah, thank you, Neha. Orlando? Okay, I don't see Orlando unmuted, so we'll move on. Praful?
Hey, hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Praful. I'm basically from Mumbai, India, but I recently moved to US, based out of Boston now. My journey to CTA started almost 2 years back, but it was halted due to all other other priorities. I have completed my sharing and visibility designer and pending with the entire pyramid. And the fun fact, as Neha mentioned, I started watching South Indian movies, which have recently, there are a lot of South Indian movies which are kind of, very different from the Bollywood movies. So I started watching them. And I think that's it from my side. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks, Praful. Good to see you. We'll move on to Sam, who's another CTA, recent CTA as well. Sam, can you unmute yourself if possible? Okay, I don't see that. So next, I'm not sure of the name, S. Bakulev. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself? I think that's the username which is showing up.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go for it.
My name is Sergio Bakulev. I'm from Ukraine, Kiev. And short story about me. I started to work as a developer, Commerce Cloud developer, 5 years ago. Then I switched to Sales and Service Cloud. And half a year ago, I decided to become a CTA. So it is start of my journey. I believe it will be long, hard, but still pretty interesting journey. And the funny fact, I'm an owner of dog. It is a dachshund with name Lucky.
That's great. That's great. Okay, we'll move on to Steve.
Hi everyone, I'm Steve. I'm from Switzerland. Probably you know the clock, the chocolate. I'm a newbie on the CTA journey, just started. Have a lot of fun learning all the day, really fun. A very sad fact about myself, I lost one of the best participants of my cohort, and now I have always to cry every morning because Lilith is not anymore in my cohort, so it's quite hard, but I will do it.
I miss you too, but we do catch up still, right? So it's okay. I haven't disappeared yet.
No, you didn't know, for sure not.
Okay, so next is Suma.
Hi, my name is Suma. I'm based off of Missouri, US. Yeah, I'm yet to complete my system architect, but I've completed my application architect. So still a long way to go, but would like to see and get inspired by the other CTAs and their stories. Fun fact is, like the other people, I have used the pandemic time efficiently to learn Rubik's Cube under 3 minutes and other puzzles. So I love puzzles. So I think CTA is one such puzzle. Thank you.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. Okay, we'll move on to Svet.
Hey guys, my name is Svet Voloshin. I live in Fairfax, Virginia, which is just outside of Washington, D.C. So I've been sticking around this community for a while. I've basically got up to my AASA last year in the summer and started the Flow Republic in November. So I'm still with Flow Republic. Johan is my coach. The dream is still very much alive. I slacked off for about 2 months as I switched jobs. Now I'm at Copado as a program architect, of which there's only 10 of us. So nobody can understand what I do, even me. But maybe that's the fun fact. Or my COVID fun fact is that I thought I was really heavily into home improvement, but stepped up the game, and I realized there's a direct correlation between identifying risks in project management and development pipeline in IT as well as in home improvement. And so I'll stick with Salesforce. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Svet. We'll move on to Swati.
Hi all, I'm Swati. I am based out of India and I'm on the journey to CTA, completed all the prerequisites. And fun fact, I like to play with my kid. That's it, nothing. Thank you.
That's great. Raja?
Yeah, hi everyone. So my name is, full name is Lourdes Raja Luis Santiago. Everybody call me as Raja. So I just completed the system architect this November, and then I completed application architect last September 2020. To be honest, I'm just starting my CTA Review Board journey just a week back. So started joining communities and then joining these calls from Saima group, and looking forward to learn a lot of things from you all. And I'm basically from Boston, Massachusetts, currently residing in. And fun fact, I played cricket good. I mean, due to the pandemic, I was not able to play cricket and stop getting scolded from my wife. And other fun fact, I love to prepare breakfast for my kids. So in the morning. So if I go for a playing cricket in the morning and then if they missed me, then they will scold me again. So this kind of fun's happens in the home. So anyway, so nice to meet you all for the first time. So yeah, looking forward to work with you all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Abhishek?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Abhishek. I'm from Hyderabad. I'm on the CTA journey. I joined the Flow Republic group May cohort. And I'm system and application architect. I've tried the review board once and couldn't get through it, and looking forward to learn from other CTAs and on this journey soon. Fun fact about me is I've done some adventure sports like skydiving, water rafting, microlight, aircraft flying, and I'm very optimistic, and I managed to get through difficult situations. Yeah, that's about me.
That's great. Thank you, Abhishek. Pawan?
Hey, hi, I'm from Hyderabad. My name is Pawan Kumar Chindalkota. So I have done my application architect and waiting to complete the system architect, the other part of it. And that's it. And for way long, it's been like I'm going through all the Saima sessions like whenever possible. I've attended almost all the sessions like whenever there's been scheduled. I always RSVP immediately when the session is scheduled. And a fun fact about me is like I watch a lot of movies and I'm a foodie. I love to watch all the movies, like any movie in any typical genre. I watch all the movies. That is a fun fact. That's all, Gaurav. Thanks.
That's great. And we have Charlie. Charlie, who's another person on his retake journey. Charlie, do you quickly want to introduce yourself?
Oh, yes, this is Charlie. I know a lot of people here. Nice to meet you. Thank you for this meeting. Am I supposed to say anything else?
Yeah,
I want
so,
a dog.
After
CTA, I want a dog. And I want a snowboard also.
That's great. That's great. Okay, next, Chaitanya.
Oh, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Myself, Chaitanya. I am based in The Hague, Netherlands. And my journey to CTA so far. Yeah, so I started my first application architect certification back in 2019 when I was working on a large data volume data migration project. So at that time, I got a chance to work on large-scale integrations using Informatica MuleSoft. And then I started a fun fact. I have worked with Chetan, one of our CTAs. So we were together in a global multi-cloud digital transformation project. And that's when I knew that I enjoy more working as an architect than as previous roles that I played, like as a developer consultant. And yeah, I'm on my system architect track right now. I have yet to clear the integration architecture examination. After that, yeah, I'll be prepping up for my CTA journey. Like I've joined Salesforce recently as a success architect. So yeah, I think that will help me in pursuing my CTA journey a bit better. Another fun fact, I can also do bachata. It's a dance form, if you know. So yeah, that's me.
That's great. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Chaitanya. Yeah. Okay. Lastly, we have Melissa. Drum rolls for the newest CTA. Melissa, you need to introduce yourself to the group.
Hello. Yeah, I just joined and I just got my results on Monday.
Yeah, so do you want to share a little bit about yourself, the information on the screen? Where are you from? A fun fact about you?
Sure. My name is Melissa Shepard. I live in Boston, Massachusetts, and my journey so far, I started in 2018 with all of my designer certs, and then I then took a year off from, I went to my 601 in 2019 and took a year off between 2019 and 2020. And then I decided to start working on the review board in August 2020. I failed my first attempt a couple months later. And then I started a study group, which turned into a study community, which some of you are part of or may know of, and then attempted my board again this past October and passed. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey so far. And fun fact about me, I'm actually a certified yoga teacher. I have 3 certifications, so people always find that interesting.
Yeah, and I think it would be an understatement. I think if I were to say that the contributions that you are making to help others on their CTA journey are just phenomenal. I think that Slack group, and the best part I think about the overall community is that we have Benelux representation here. We have representation from you and your group, and I think these are probably the 3 most active groups. So it's great to see everybody coming together for this cause. I think we covered most of the people. I see more people are joining, but if we keep doing the introductions, then nobody else will be able to speak. So I think we'll move on with the agenda. But the idea of this was, I think there are a lot of people in various stages of their journey, and often we get to technical topics and we talk about a lot of other stuff, and the human aspect of it takes a backseat. So this was just an attempt so that we know each other better. I've been speaking to Meera and Neha for years now as Saima organizers, but I never knew that Meera is a dancer and Neha is a movie buff. So sometimes it's always good to know the personal side of things as well. All right, so moving on. Saima, the overall vision is straightforward, help people in their Salesforce architect journey. And of late, it's also supporting people in their CTA journeys by doing meetups on specific targeted topics. And overall, I think, so as I posted on LinkedIn as well, this is the 16th meetup. So this is a Sweet 16 celebration for Saima of sorts, and I'm hoping that that the group will continue doing similar things in future as well. So housekeeping rules: mute yourself if you're not talking. Ask all the questions in the chat. There are no stupid questions. There are only stupid answers. So do not hesitate. And if you're interested in presenting or hosting, this is a very informal group, and we have had presenters as well as hosts as well as speakers from pretty much all over the world. So you can reach out to Lilith, Neha, Meera, me, or Johan as well. And Johan is not here. He's the godfather of this group. So he promised that he will watch the recording. So let's get on with it. And we will start with Chetan's journey. So Chetan, do you want to take it away?
Yep, sure. So good that I'm the first speaker, because it's not really that interesting, or how I would see from some of the other participants. I'm sure Lilith would have a nice story to tell. But from my side, I would say it's more of something that just happened to me, rather than me, buckling up and saying that, yeah, I want to be on this journey and that's it. So it was just more that, yeah, like everyone else, I was hunting for certifications, and so the first ones are the consultant ones, and then the designer ones, and then it's like, what should I do next? Because there are no easy other certifications. And yeah, so CTA, yeah, but it's not that easy. But then again, something happened that, yeah, I happened to find a really cool mentor, coach, guru in my own backyard, in my own company, Tamim. So Tamim Bari, you guys know about him. He's the one who wrote the book about the CTA, the journey to CTA. And yeah, as I was working with him, we read a few mocks about, like, yeah, just to get me the taste of it. And then did my 601 with him and Kid and a couple of other guys back in February last year, just before the lockdowns started. So I believe that was the last business trip that we had. And yeah, but then I believe the whole concept was up in the air, because Salesforce itself didn't know how to take it forward, because the in-person events were all canceled. So nobody knew how and what will happen next.
And I believe last year, sometime maybe in August, that's when they decided to come up with the whole plan about the virtual, the whole thing about the virtual, because otherwise, I believe they were only doing section retakes as virtual ones, but then the full review board had to be in person previously. However, had to adapt, had to learn something. And yeah, what else do you do when you are just lying around in the house, no business trips? So thanks to COVID, nothing else to do, no social life. So study up and work on your journey, take it a little bit more seriously. And again, leveraged the resources within the company, reached out to Tamim. Tamim was kind enough to help me with some more mock review board, gave me feedback. But somehow I believe when I took my first attempt in April this year in 2021, I wouldn't say I was complacent. Nevertheless, I wasn't really prepared as to the level as how I should have been prepared. And I saw, I mean, I was following a lot of people's advice that you should practice drawing your data model every morning when you wake up. It should become more like, a muscle memory. You're writing the whole, Sales Cloud data model, Service Cloud data model without even thinking. And yes, I was doing it. But on the day of the exam, I forgot to put the case object in the real, data model artifact. Yeah, the nerves. Yes, I wouldn't hide it. Yes, I was nervous, and the judges sensed it. And there were quite a lot of easy points on which I missed out, and the result was justifiably section retake, data and integration, and I knew it that in the very right in that instance itself why, and yeah. So second attempt, it took quite a while to get the whole thing scheduled, because April was when I did my first attempt of the review board. And I got the section retake attempt in September, which is really like 5-6 months apart. It's crushing in the beginning when you see the result. However, I think it was justified, and I had to bite the bullet and accept the fact that yes, I was underprepared. Maybe not in terms of the knowledge, but a little bit more in terms, I would say, exam technique. I had to polish it no matter what. I had to polish the exam technique. I had to get a better feeling about how to control the nerves, how to be the one who's driving, rather than being just at the. I wouldn't say that you can control a lot, but nevertheless at least appear to be in control. The review board in front of the judges is not the easiest of the places that you would wish to be. And yeah, I would say, in fact, I was joking with Tamim that I should write a book, How Not to Be a CTA, right? I mean, 99 ways of failing or something like that, right? Because I did everything which was in the book to do, and I did the opposite in my first attempt, right? Doing more mocks? No, I was doing maybe like 6 or 7 mocks, and that's it, right? Changing my style 2 or 3 times, one time, drawing by hand, and one time doing what in the PowerPoint and so on. It learned the hard way, yes, but in the second attempt, I made sure that I don't repeat those mistakes, and I reached out to as many study buddies and found the best one, Lilith, joined groups, as many groups as possible. Again, found the best one, Melissa's group, and Saima, and yeah, that's how things happened. And this time also, I would say in the second attempt, I was nervous. I would be lying if I would say if I said I wasn't nervous. But somehow, yeah, was able to convince the judges with the points that I was trying to make, and yeah, here I am.
That is great. And you also had a couple of slides. You still want to present them, or?
No, that's okay. I think I already spoke about it. So it's
okay. All right. Yeah, I think great story. And yeah, if you ever write that book, to send us a copy. But I think you did well. So that book is a non-starter. I think you did well, and you're a CTA. So congratulations on that. Okay, over to Lilith, and one of the most inspirational journeys, I think.
Well, I don't know about that, because I've heard a lot of other journeys. So definitely, I think they're all very inspiring. And I don't know, maybe it's Hollywood or whatever, but I do love a comeback story. So that's why I think the people who have like gone for it and maybe not, you know, succeeded in the first time, but had to do a few additional takes, I think, you know, it builds character, and I very much admire people who have done this, because I know it was not the easiest thing. So maybe let's jump back to where it started for me. I first learned about CTA in 2018 because some of my colleagues went to Trailhead DX and they had all these kinds of cool boot camps that they did. So it was, yeah, a very specific goal. I want to be there next year. And I was so happy that I was, because it turned out to be, I guess, the last in-person Trailhead DX until, yeah, let's hope maybe next year. So it was really cool. I did the boot camp. I saw some CTAs. I saw so many inspiring people such as Gemma, Susanna, Charlie. It was really, really inspiring. It really showed, okay, there's a lot of people going for it. This is going to take quite a bit of effort. So let's go for those designer certs. But to say that I was naive at that point is, I think, the biggest understatement ever, because I was fully convinced I'm doing all these designer certs, I should be there in no time, you know. And then after I have those system architect and application architects, only this little part of the pyramid is left. How difficult can that be, right? So yeah, that was interesting surprise when I got to that point. And then it was really thanks to Arjen, who is a Dutch CTA, and also Sergey, who is MVP, or I think he was, because now he's joined Salesforce. So now he's just, you know, part of the mothership. And they show me like, yeah, Lilith, this is something you really have to do in group, because I was just studying with my computer, diving in and long nights, but it's all on my own until that point. So that's really when I started to join the study groups. And I think that's the biggest thing I can advise is you cannot do this alone. So join study groups. However, I have to be honest that I was kind of overwhelmed with how much knowledge and how many things you have to do. I saw these mocks from these amazing people. I was very, very, intimidated to some extent. Like, I'm never going to be able to do that. How do they have all this knowledge? And how are they even able to solution this in this little amount of time? I haven't even finished like reading or processing it yet, and I'm 2 hours in. So yeah, that was very scary. But also it was really cool because I did start to progress. I joined Flow Republic, which sped it up a bit more. And then I did the 602, passed that one. So that was, okay. All right, good. So, and then all of a sudden I got a notice from Suzanne's team that I was going to get, or that I would have my date a month later. So that was when they were still had a long queue. It's definitely better now that the evaluation is mandatory, because I think it really helps give a honest assessment of where you are. So I went for it. I wasn't completely sure, especially still looking around me, seeing all these other amazing people on their journey, and hearing that some of them didn't pass, or maybe got a partial pass. It was very scary to think, okay, so these guys that I look up to, or girls, all these amazing people, and I'm here, little old me trying to do this. I'm just crazy, right? So, okay, fine, let's try. And I did, and I really practiced a lot. So I did a lot of mocks. I know everyone got a call from me or a message like, hey, please be my judge, please, please, please. I need to practice. So I'm so thankful, because that's definitely helped in being less scared and nervous on the actual date. And also, I don't know if you can tell, but if I get nervous, I talk even more. So that would not be time efficient. So I really had to work on that. The actual board, it just flew by. It's so, it's a long day, but it just flew by, and it all went better than I expected. I had practiced with really hard scenarios before. So when I got the actual scenario, it was a relief that it wasn't as hard as some of the others that I had done. And then there's a 2-week wait in which all kinds of emotions, and people say like, yeah, sure, you'll go, or you don't know what to expect until you get that email, which gave my husband a minor heart attack when I jumped out of the seat. I got the email. So after I promised him never to do that again, I looked into the result and I saw that I had failed one section, which is a good result. It really is. But at that time, I was just like, oh gosh, I have to go again. I have to find this level of, energy, motivation and time again. So that was a bit tough. Luckily, I had a very, very good network. And one of the people that really talked me through was Nadina. So she called me and she was like, Lilith, get a grip. This is really, really good. You have that champagne cold, just pop it already. We'll put another bottle for when it's actually there. So that was really good. And it started to dawn, okay, I'm being silly. This is really good. This is really feasible. But to be honest, I don't know if you know the process, but when you get this email, you get the results. So it's not just, hey, pass or fail, but it's also, this is some of the feedback. And I was reading the feedback. I can't divulge too much. We have to sign an NDA. So, have to be careful. But I got some feedback there, which it was more or less like you were good, but you didn't explain or justify it well enough why you went for a solution which wasn't bad. So that was really weird. I couldn't understand that. And it took me really diving into the integration part, which was a section I had to do again. And then kind of like, I think 2 or 3 months later, when I read the email again, now it makes sense. Now I understand, yes, when they grilled me on certain questions, on certain parts, I thought, the solution itself wasn't bad, but I wasn't justifying. They were pushing, seeing, do I understand why I really chose this? And I didn't, to be honest. I didn't understand it well enough to defend it. And that really started to dawn on me. And it also again showed, okay, at least I know I'm further along going for this retake because I can see the mistakes that I made, and that those are kind of the gaps that you have to get to know. So then did the integration retake, which is a lot shorter. It's more focused towards the area that you failed, of course. And then again, had to wait 2 weeks. Got this time the full good email, didn't scare my husband as much. So did a little dance in the living room when I got it though. But yeah, so I was really, really happy. And also again, really happy again for the second part. Got a lot of people to judge, to help me. I know Chetan and I, we really talked a lot about the topics because we had similar domains to retake. So it really helped. And yeah, I think that's the biggest advice is just, it's going to be tough and maybe you don't succeed in the first attempt, but it's really worth it to stick to it because also you really grow from those things and you just sometimes don't know what you don't know, right? So you think, yeah, I got it. I know I have all the theoretical knowledge, but it's might be a few levels deeper that you're not expecting. So yeah, I know I talked a lot, but I promise that I will give now the word to James for his story. So thanks for listening and I hope it was useful.
Yeah, what an amazing story, Lilith. So thank you for sharing that. And obviously, I think after the next story, we'll come for a Q&A and there will be a lot of questions as well. So moving on, I think if, and again, I've been hearing several stories, but if there is one story of great perseverance and sticking to it, I think I still remember the message from James on the Slack group when he had failed his last attempt. And I actually took a screenshot and I posted it in one of my folders. And when I saw that he actually passed after that, it was just phenomenal. So James, why don't you take us through your journey?
That's humbling. Thank you, Gaurav. Wow. Yeah, so I first want to just thank Gemma for creating Ladies Be Architects, which was honestly my inspiration. She championed the concept of architecture being an accessible profession for everyone from non-traditional backgrounds, etc. And I hope to help carry that torch forward at CTA now, finally. So going back to the beginning, I studied business. I did not have a technology background in school. I I entered the workforce in the corporate sense when the US economy was kind of in the toilet. I couldn't get a job. I was working in a call center and also have worked other jobs like teaching assistant in a school for kids with disabilities before. So very much not a technology career. And then I sort of had some opportunities to manage some projects, got into the technology world that way, was working on a different platform, dipped my toe into Salesforce and realized it was way easier to accomplish what I wanted in a short time on Salesforce. So from then on, I was like, okay, I need to explore this, and this is where I'm going to take my career. So I long story short, I accomplished all the prerequisites exams in 2017, started thinking about CTA maybe a year or so after that, after I had forgotten all the material I studied, which I don't recommend. If you're going to go for CTA, go for it soon after those exams before you forget. I had to restudy all that material. And then I still didn't really know how to approach studying for the exam. Luckily, I connected with my friend who leads the local developer group here, who had attempted it a couple times. He was able to at least tell me like the format and what to expect. Definitely study the exam guide for anyone who is going for it there, and read that until you can almost recite every word by memory, because it's that important. Like everything on there is on there for a reason, and study it closely. So I put in my case right before COVID in end of 2019 to request to take the exam. Yeah, there was uncertainty there for a while. Finally, I got the email that I could attempt it last year in September, or my date was in September. I found out maybe a month and a half before that. I was studying with this friend, Tyler, who was sort of my mentor at the time, along with Charlie, who is on this call, who I've been studying with for a long time. We've been through a lot together. Yeah, I thought I was ready. I did not get a partial pass on that one. I failed every section except one. And I realized, okay, there's a lot more than just the exam. The exam guide gives you maybe half of what you need to know to pass this. The other half is frankly a bit unspoken and hard to know about unless you talk to people who are further along on their journey than you. So I would definitely advise join Melissa's group, join Saima for sure, and join Benelux. And Benelux and Melissa's will help you arrange for mocks where just super knowledgeable people will sign up and dedicate their time free of charge for you. And that's what you need, because they will make you think about problems that you never even knew existed. Like it's an incredible opportunity, I think, for anyone out there who's thinking about this path, even if you're going for CTA, maybe even if you're not, like you can learn a lot from these groups. So yeah, full fail. I thought I came out of that experience thinking like, oh yeah, I did really well. And then that was a wake-up call, like, oh, I'm actually quite early in this journey and have a long way to go and a lot to learn. And I need to connect with more people who have more diverse perspectives and can share those with me. So it is a fortuitous day being 11/11 today. Last year, 11/11, Charlie created the CTA 1111 group, which is on the Trailblazer community, which we had been studying together and connecting with a few more people around the world. And that sort of formalized it into a study group. And then about a month later, Melissa's group started, which was incredible because we realized that Melissa was an amazing group organizer and manager, and we sort of realized, oh, she's way better at this than we are, and she just knows everybody. So thank you so much, Melissa. That really changed everything for me. And then we have the study groups, meetups multiple times a week. I started knowing what I didn't know, which is very hard to discover if you're studying by yourself. You're just going to have blind spots and you can't identify them without the help of other people. So you really do need to have lots of buddies with you on this journey, which you keep afterward, trust me. I'm still meeting with people every day. So my next attempt was in March of this year. That's where I got the partial pass. I got a 2-section retake on data and security. So that was a surprise. Honestly, I didn't think I did well, but I was really happy to have that result, whereas others may have been disappointed. To me, I was like, I can't believe I didn't fail totally. So I knew I could focus in on those 2 sections. It's publicly available, but basically if you get a 2-section retake, you get a full scenario, but you're supposed to just focus on the 2 sections that you need to, and maybe anything that's sort of a prerequisite to support those. And you can sort of not really present or talk about the other sections much. Whereas a 1-section retake, you get a different type of exam that's shorter and written specifically with that section in mind. I think that I was too eager to become CTA, that I probably should have pushed off my date for this 2-section retake. I didn't fully, I practiced mocks with 2-section retake, but it was, I still don't really feel qualified to speak about it because I failed, obviously. Well, no, maybe it's not obvious. Yeah, I failed my 2-section retake, which was super devastating actually, because I felt like I was so close to this prize I've been pursuing for years. And then if you fail a 2-section retake, you don't get to try again. You have to start again from scratch. So you get a full scenario, but you only get half the time. And I'm very much a slow starter on solving scenarios, and then I get faster and faster and put the pieces together in my mind and in my artifacts much faster at the end than at the beginning. I have to think about it for a while. So I was just not well suited for that type of a format of an exam. So it didn't go very well. I don't think I was very close, and I was pretty crushed. Like I've invested all this time and effort and I have nothing to show for it. And a lot of people in the study groups and the community were sort of looking up to me to show that this can be done. And I felt like I let them down, which was really a low point for me on my journey, and in my household as well. Like I said, I need to make all these time investments where I'm away from family. And, it's challenging to have those conversations, and they put their faith in me to succeed, and I didn't. So I felt like I betrayed people's trust almost by failing, which is a very tough on your mental health, I would say. So if you're feeling that way, just know that at least you're not alone, and that some of us have felt this way before, and it does pass, and you can do this. So on top of having to start over, they introduced the 602, or that's not what I'm supposed to be calling it anymore, but the review board readiness exam evaluation or something. And so I was like, there's even more steps now. So, but it went much smoother in the end. I got in a sort of subgroup within Melissa's group with both Melissa and Charlie on this call, as well as Shoaib and Amit, friends of mine. And we studied pretty much every weekday and really just doubled down on the dedication and strategizing about how to talk about every single aspect in the most efficient way possible, and how to tell a clear story so that any judge can understand it clearly on the first time. And I think that approach has paid off with finally my success, Melissa's success. We're hoping for the others coming up. But that is the approach that worked for us, an everyday dedicated group to do mocks and also just discuss topics. And I just want to say that lots of CTAs, I don't know the data, but lots of CTAs did not pass on the first time. So I hope everyone does who's going for it. I really do. Likely, probably not everyone will. Most people probably won't. And just know that most of the CTAs you see probably didn't pass on the first time either. The whole, I could name, a dozen right now, but it doesn't get talked about that much. But it's very valuable, I think, for people to know that, and it takes perseverance. Like, you will put in 1,000+ hours of studying, if not more, and probably fail anyway. And that is a tough pill to swallow, because it feels personal, even though it's not. And it's very tough. But I hope that if it happens to you, you can rise up, and we're all extending a helping hand. So you can reach out to any of us to discuss technical or non-technical topics like that, and join the study groups as well, because that's your community. That's the people in the same boat as you who will understand and be there for you. So that's my story.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal, James. I don't think I can say anything else. And I think you hit a great point there, that I think the whole purpose of this meetup is that it's okay to fail, and it's okay to feel that you are probably not up for it. And then I think the way you have come back, I think, is an example for all of us. So a little bit about housekeeping. We will share all these slides and recordings later, but let's actually not come to the rapid fire. We will do the questions and answers first. So what we'll do is, we did receive some questions from people who filled out the form. So I am actually going to take them up first. I think that will give us about 5 minutes, and then we'll open up the floor for any questions and answers for another 15 minutes. And then we'll come back to the rapid fire and the Kahoot quiz. Okay, so the first question is, and this is to all panelists, what was the most challenging aspect for your retake and why? And this is for all panelists, whoever wants to go first. So since James has finished, maybe we'll go with Chetan.
I would say for me, the toughest part was keeping the timing. I think I was always spending too much time in answering the questions. And even during the presentation, I was probably some things that I could have said in lesser words. I didn't manage to do that. I was always giving long answers. So for me, like I briefly touched upon it during my previous talk. I said that, yeah, the exam technique, and that's what I mean in terms of polishing. Make sure that you're keeping an eye on the timing, whether you're presenting or whether you're answering. So that's absolutely most important thing.
Sure, Lilith.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very important point indeed. So that is definitely the hidden key, let's say, to the CTA's time management. I think for me, the most difficult part with the retake, aside from everything that James already mentioned, which I think is a very good point, to the guilt, and it does mess with your head a bit. So definitely. But for me, it was really difficult to see, okay, I can go by the exam guide and see what is integration and just stick to that. But I wasn't convinced that that was where the domain ended or should end in a retake. So it was kind of like trying to, yeah, have this part, this section defined and bordered and scoped. That was a bit tricky for me to really see, okay, where am I just going into a rabbit hole? I talked to, for example, like the practice lead for integrations at my company. I bothered everyone with those kinds of detailed questions just because I really wanted to make sure this time I understood it. So that was tricky. And also there's not really that many practice exams for focused scenarios out there. So that was kind of guessing what it will be like.
Sure. James, any inputs from you?
Agree. For me, the toughest part was the time constraint. Having to digest that much information in 3 hours and have an airtight solution is just, so I think it's supposed to be sort of impossible so that they have some questions to ask you. So you have to, I'm not a fast reader, so that's something I definitely had to learn. And I'm also a bit of a perfectionist, and you have to sort of really force yourself to let go of that. And for each like business requirement bullet point, just figure out what are they looking for? What are they trying to test you by asking this? And just make a note of that and move on. And you don't have to think of it from every angle possible. Otherwise you'll run out of time.
Sure. Yeah, that's a very valid point. Next question is very interesting. It was from Rajat, and this is specifically for Lilith. And I would actually love to hear after Lilith, Melissa's perspective on this as well. Do you think it's harder for women to become CTA as compared to men? If so, why?
Wow. Well,
Lilith, what
I
do you
can
think?
only I can only bring the woman perspective, of course. No, I think to some extent it's different, definitely, because I think we have still kind of different ways of looking at it, and I know that I'm always kind of a bit insecure. You know, do I have a right to talk about this? Not as being a woman, but just from insecurity point of view, like I'm a newbie, I'm not the best developer out there for sure, or not in a long shot. So those things play a role. And I think there, if you're the only woman in the room, it can add to that kind of insecurity for sure. And well, I can say this without really going against any confidentiality, the judges will very likely be men, because there's only about, I think, like 10% of CTAs are women. So maybe we have now 50. I think I'm being very generous there. So that is, you're going from your point of view and you're trying to explain for your point of view, but you're explaining it to a male audience. So it might be tricky. It's a different experience, I think. Melissa, sure. I'm very curious.
Yeah, likewise. Melissa, if you're still here, we would love to hear your perspective. I am not sure if she's still around. Okay, we'll come back in case she's here. Okay, so next question is, I think it's similar, but if anyone wants to take this, if there were 2 things you had to change for your preparation, what would those 2 things be? And whoever wants to go for it.
Well, I'll jump in if that's okay. I'll keep it short this time. So there's one thing is, when I was going for the designer certs, as I mentioned, I was kind of racing, just, you know, get through this, get to the end, and then that will be it. That's the small part to do. And I think that's the completely wrong approach, in the sense that I had to dive into a lot of those topics anyway afterwards. And it was just a whole lot more overwhelming because it was all at the same time. So I wish I would have just taken my time a bit more for the designer certs, made better notes, and did a lot more hands-on then. That would have made my last stretch a lot easier. And also just talk to more people at the very beginning to really see how should I start studying, because I think I wasted a bit of my time not being that efficient. I didn't even know about Charlie's group and James's group until way later, and I would have discovered Melissa sooner if I had kind of looked around. So definitely those are the two things I wish I would have done differently.
Right. James, Chetan, any inputs from you?
Yeah, I mean, I would also kind of echo the same. I feel I was even 10 steps behind everyone else in terms of reaching out to the community. At least I should have done that a lot earlier. What's the worst that can happen, right? I mean, they probably would say, no, I don't have time. Right? That's it. So yeah, you have nothing to lose, right? I mean, reach out to as many CTAs, reach out to as many study buddies, and it's only going to help you. It's only going to add to your, overall knowledge. I think there is one thing that honestly, all of us can accept, that there is only so much you can learn on your own. There's only so much you can know by working hands-on in the projects. And I know there are participants in this call right now who might say that, yes, we were fortunate enough to have worked on a very large implementation. Nevertheless, there are a lot of things which you have to rely on from the community knowledge perspective. And I would also say that, yeah, reach out to as many people out there, reach out to colleagues who are doing, who are on the same journey as you. Yeah, reach out to the CTAs, do as many, practice scenarios, discussions, even if not mock scenarios. You can't spare like maybe 3 hours for preparation and then 90 minutes for Q&A or so on and so on, but at least do some half-an-hour focused discussions, solve a scenario together, and then see, how to come up with the best solution. So it needs a lot of effort. Mind it. It's not like one of those other certificates where you can just study on your own and then just give it a shot, and maybe if you are lucky, you would pass. No, this is not that kind of a certification.
Yeah, absolutely. Great points. James?
Exactly the same. I wish I got with the community sooner. I spent a lot of time reviewing technical information by myself before I was ready to do mocks. And then I realized a lot of that information is not necessary to know for this, for CTA at all. So I realized, oh, okay, well, that wasn't the most efficient use of my time. And other people could have kept me more focused and helped me understand what is actually important to pass this.
That's a very valid point. Okay, last question that we had was from Anish. What changes after becoming a CTA? Everybody is looking at your solution, and we are all human, so we may not know everything. How do you handle those situations now? Again, open to whoever wants to take it. Now you're celebrities, so how do you handle the celebrity life?
I can
Lilith, you want to go?
First.
Yeah, James, go for it. Go for it.
So to be completely honest, I hope this doesn't make anyone less eager to go after it. It hasn't changed much in my life anyway. I work for a Salesforce customer, so most people don't know what CTA is. But it helps me in my own mind. I know what I've been through and what I've sort of overcome. So I feel more confident myself. And I feel I can very quickly come up with solutions on the spot because we have a demanding business stakeholders, and you have to be nimble on your feet and able to digest any piece of new requirements with no lead time at all during a meeting and just come up with, oh yeah, this is the way we do it. And they love that. And it's not really something I could do a couple of years ago. So I've gained that ability from this community.
Yeah, great point. Chetan, Lilith, who wants to go?
For me, I would say I don't know if anything would change for that matter after having reached the top of the mountain here. But I would say, to be very honest, I enjoyed the journey more than now after being on the other side. While being on the journey, I was always curious to know something more, learn every single day something more. Now I'm honestly a lot lazy sometimes. Yeah, okay, just waste your time doing something. And on the other side, I think it's the important fact is the fact that until you are not a CTA, people are not shy in challenging you, right? I mean, once you're a CTA, sometimes I feel even if the other person is right, he would probably not even challenge you a lot of times, because thinking that, oh, it's coming from the CTAs, it must be right. No, as in, like I've seen in the past, like while I was working with some CTAs in my project, I realized that they were wrong, but I was myself shy of actually even challenging them, thinking, yeah, just they are a CTA, so they must be right. So in fact, I would say the other way around, like stay as, focused, as curious, as hungry as you would be when you're on your journey. So don't just think that, yeah, now I'm a CTA, I'm a celebrity. So I would say that's something wrong to think of if you think that, yeah, this is the end.
Yeah, absolutely. James?
Yeah, I can actually.
Oh, Lilith, sorry.
No,
yeah.
no, it's no worries. No, yeah, I think I can totally echo that. So of course, this is like the cherry on top of the journey that you've been through. So it's definitely awesome, but it's true. It's not that title or that email that, hey, you got it, made a difference in who you are or what you know, or I really hope it shouldn't, because everything that you learn is throughout the journey. And definitely as a CTA, you don't know everything. And wow, do I see that every time that I'm still judging other people, even the things that we studied for the review board, which are important to have as, current knowledge when you're there, this is starting to kind of like fade away. Which objects can you have, with which license? I can see that I'm already forgetting some of those. So definitely it's not about the knowledge aspect as much as it is about the way of looking at things and indeed thinking on your feet. So what has changed for me? Well, I get a lot of questions to come and join sessions, which is a bit awe-inspiring if you look at some of the people that I have the opportunity then to talk with and along, and that's really cool. I guess I can reach a lot of people that are kind of my rock stars. So, and they now respond, which is awesome. So that's what's changed for me.
That's great. So yeah, as I mentioned in the chat, and again, there are a lot of great conversations happening in the chat. Anybody who wants to ask a question, either type it in the chat or just raise your hand like a good child in the school. I'll go with the first question from Bhavna. What is your why? Why did you want to become a CTA? She has her own consulting firm for SMBs, and none of her clients care if she's certified. But I started on this journey because it would be so cool to be a CTA, but sometimes I feel like my why is not strong enough. So whoever wants to answer this, very valid question. I think, what was your why for why CTA?
Yeah, I'll keep it brief because I actually wrote a very long LinkedIn article post on that. So I don't want to, keep you guys here for the rest of the session. But my why definitely evolved. That's the gist of it. So it started with really, this is the coolest cert ever. Let's go for it. And it really evolved into more like, I'm learning so much, I'm growing so much, and I'm getting to really get to know all these awesome people. And that's, in the end, I think my important why, and why I also went and continued going for it, even though I had to kind of pull myself up and go for it again. So yeah, it evolves.
Absolutely. James, Chetan?
So for me, I would say pretty much the same sentiment. Like, I think it's the journey which will help you evolve, which will make you learn so much. As in, maybe at times you think you're just happily living in your bubble. That's it. So yeah, maybe you wouldn't even know, right? What else you're missing out in terms of the knowledge, in terms of the approach or the way of thinking. And that's what I believe, when you are on this journey, that's what the whole purpose is. Giving you a stamp that you're a CTA is, I don't think, honestly speaking, Salesforce has that as a purpose in mind by creating this program. The whole idea is that they want to make sure that the people who are coming out of this program are as qualified. And the other thing I would say is that for me, what it has done is that it has given me a completely new perspective. Like I still remember thinking about it 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when I was working in different Salesforce projects. I would look at somebody's implementation and I was like, what is this? Why have they used this for it? At least now I don't make faces like that. Because I would rather think of what has happened. And it's very natural that maybe the business requirements have evolved, maybe the system itself has evolved, maybe some of the things are no longer happening as the way it used to happen previously. And so it is natural. And that's the perspective that brings, like you have to think a little bit more, just not by thinking of it in just like, okay, yeah, I'm working on this and it's that's how it is. Think beyond that.
Sure. Yeah, great point, I think. James?
Yeah, for me, going back to even earlier certifications, I was sort of grateful to Salesforce for packaging the material and sort of telling us, here's the concepts that are important to know, because I will admit I don't have all the trailhead badges or even close. And to me, I can get overwhelmed when I go there. Like there's so many options. What's the most important stuff, and where do you start? But the certifications in general, I think, really put together the body of information and tell you, here's what you should learn. And I always appreciated that about all the prerequisites as well. And then for CTA as well, I figured, this is a very elaborate exam format. They must be doing it for a reason. I guess they think that, the best people should be able to do this. And I realize I'm nowhere close to that in terms of presentation ability, soft skills, or technical skills. So I should probably work on all of those things. And this gives me the proper format and structure to apply myself in those areas. Whereas otherwise, I would have learned a bunch of non-related, pieces of information that can become like almost a trivia compared to the comprehensive body of work of being a Salesforce architect, which I think that this does a great job of encompassing that. And I hope to make it more inclusive for other people in the future. And I plan to be an active contributor to Melissa's group in that effort going forward.
That's great. Okay, next question is from Svet, who's doing an advertisement for Matrix, if you look at him very closely. And his question is, now that you are CTAs, what next? And I'll request you keep the answers to 30 seconds because we still have 2 sections to go in this event. So what next for you, Lilith, now that you're a CTA?
I want to do the other solution architect exams because they seem so much fun. So up to the next exam for me, for sure.
What's next for James?
Still figuring it out, but I want to work on, I think one of the other why reasons, it gives you more freedom in what you want to work on. So I would like to do something that I consider very meaningful to making the world a better place, and focus my efforts there.
Great. Chetan?
Well, so for me, simple answer, keep going. Be that, that energizer cell, just keep going. So this is not the end, this is just a milestone. So keep going, keep learning, keep doing more. The technology would keep evolving, so keep up to date, right? I mean, it's even the CTAs who did it like in 2012, 11 or something, they keep learning new stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Anish, you had your hand raised. You have a question?
Yeah, it's not a question. Basically, I'm looking for a tips kind of thing. How should we stop overthinking? So basically, I work as a application and solution architect, but in any organization, we get at least some time to solution and cut it down and go for a different solution. But CTA board is kind of, it's a time box. So there is no one way of doing a thing, right? So my main challenge is basically I kind of design something, then I will think, why can't I do it in this way, right? But that won't be the correct approach on the day of exam. So I probably look for a tips how to stop wondering. Maybe I should meditate or something. So that's the tip I'm looking for.
Yeah, for
Who
me,
wants to take that?
what really
Yeah.
helped was if you go to Melissa's group, there's this list of recordings, because that's another awesome part there, that they record the sessions. And one of the areas that I struggled with was data, just knowing, okay, which object should I go? Should I go standard, custom? And regardless of which scenario, it's something that keeps bugging me, like, okay, what should I do? Because you don't have time to go back and forth. This is a decision that you make, and that's what you solution with. But luckily there was a session there in the recordings from Jitendra, who kind of walked through, okay, how should you think about the standard objects? What are some of the considerations that you make if you go for case or not for, custom, or you go for something custom and not for opportunity? And that really helped me, because that was the area where I always had these questions. And in the end, I just have to stick with one thing. You always have the Q&A to rectify. So go with the gut and create that gut feeling through mocks. That's my hopefully short answer.
Yeah. James, Chetan, anything you want to add?
Well, I would just say practice. I think the more you practice, the more you would get the feeling that, when to stop. When you think you've done enough and you can defend it, good enough, So practice.
That's great.
I want to second what Lilith said. That video, Jitendra, the community owes him big time, because that's an extremely valuable video. Probably, in my opinion, the best one we've ever done. And also there are mock recordings on YouTube on this very channel, the Saima group, and Johan Furman's channel as well. And Apex Hours with Amit Chowdhury. So watch some of those, and that will, especially people who went on to pass the exam, and that sort of gives you an idea of the right level of detail that you should be explaining in your presentation, and the sort of cadence and speed as well.
Yeah, excellent insights. Yeah. So I think with that, we'll kind of end this Q&A, but now we move to the rapid fire, which is basically the fun part, and the Q&A continues. I will ask you, each of you. So we'll go with the ladies first. So Lilith first, and then you'll have 1 minute, and you need to give me one word answer. So some of these are related to CTA. Some of these are just fun questions put in there. And we'll have 1 minute for Lilith, then 1 minute for Chetan, and then 1 minute for James. And in the end, we will have the audience. We will have a poll on the chat and see who wins. So let me put on some music first.
This is really exciting.
Okay, so Lilith, your 1 minute starts now. Chocolate or ice cream?
Oh, chocolate.
Lightning or classic?
Lightning.
Vague or Salesforce?
Oof, Salesforce.
Okay, Neha or Meera?
Oh God, Gaurav. Pass.
One person in Salesforce, the company Salesforce, whose job you would like to take?
Suzanne, maybe.
Okay. I know Sergi is very close to you. Describe Sergi in one word.
Awesome.
Okay. Flow or process builder?
Oh, flow.
Least favorite section for CTA?
Oh, oh gosh, security.
Okay. One person who helped you the most in your CTA journey?
My husband. Oh God, that's cheesy, but yes, sorry.
Cats or dogs?
Both. I have both. I can't decide. I'm sorry.
Okay. CTA journey in one word.
Worth it. Oh gosh, that's not one word. Yeah, rocks. Rocks.
Okay. Favorite mock scenario?
Food force. I don't know why.
Okay, excellent. So those are all your questions. I think you did very well. So we'll move on next to Chetan. Chetan, are you ready?
Okay.
Capgemini or Salesforce?
Tough one. Salesforce.
Okay. Germany or Punjab?
Well, with the German infrastructure, Punjab.
Okay. Winters or summers?
Summers.
One person from the technology industry, not from Salesforce, whose job you would like to take?
Elon Musk.
Okay. Your mentor in life?
The meme, yes.
Okay. Lightning or classic?
Classic, it was way faster, yeah.
Least favorite section in CTA?
Data, it's the mother of all, yeah.
Okay. Cricket or tennis?
Cricket, yeah.
Okay. One person who helped you the most in your CTA journey?
Oof. Hard to say, yeah, but
come on.
Very hard to say. There's no one person, sorry, no, a lot, the whole community.
Favorite mock scenario?
Global adventure trackers.
Okay, CTA journey in one word.
Perseverance.
Okay, excellent. Okay, that's all your questions. Again, you did really well. And now, last but not the least, James. Let me change the music a little bit if possible. Okay, James, are you ready?
Ready.
And can you still hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay, let's go. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
One person in Salesforce community whom you feel really inspired by?
Melissa.
Okay. Lightning or classic?
Lightning.
Okay, this is a tough one. Charlie or Melissa?
Oh, no, I can't do that. I got to pass.
Okay. Full board or the retake?
Full.
Okay. Describe Johan in one word.
Best.
Okay. CDC or platform events?
Platform events.
Okay. Most favorite section for the CTA?
Solution architecture.
Okay. One person who helped you the most in your CTA journey?
It's tough. Yeah, probably Melissa.
Okay, excellent. Favorite mock scenario?
Global adventure tours.
Okay. And your CTA journey in one word?
Done.
I think the last answer was the best. Okay, audience, you have some time, 1 minute. Whose answers did you like the best? You can mention in the chat. Come on, pick your favorites. Whoever says everybody was good is being political. Okay, so James, you are the clear winner so far.
Oh yeah, that last question. I mean, awesome.
So we have votes for all three so far. Okay, keep them coming. Yeah, last one was out of the park, truly. Yeah. Okay, I think everybody is a winner, and I think all three stories are very inspirational. And I think you have done a lot. So what we'll do is we'll just wrap it up with a small quiz, and we will do it on a platform called Kahoot. Again, the questions are, some questions are, I would say, slightly technical, some are related to CTA, and some are purely fun questions. So I will just start the quiz, and I'll start sharing my screen. You need to go to and I'll put it in the chat. You need to go to this URL called kahoot.it. And we use this, I think every developer group, every Salesforce group uses it. I think Kahoot gets 80% of its revenue from Salesforce. So we can give them a little bit more today. And your game pin is, I will just type it again in the chat. Okay. And I'll give a minute or so that everybody can join. We have about 33 people, so I'm hoping about 30 can join. Okay, we have the early birds. Okay, we are up to 20 people. Let me share my screen now. So up to 21. '24. And I would encourage all three new CTAs to play as well. So if anybody else wins, you can brag that you won a Salesforce quiz where there were 3 CTAs or 4 CTAs and so many other people. So okay, 25. I think now is we can get started. So there are 9 questions. The key is that you need to answer correctly and you need to answer the fastest. And there is a leaderboard after each question and you're never out of the game. So even if you answer a few incorrect, you can still come back and win it. So, okay, let's start. Okay, question number 1. CTA quiz. Let's go. Which of these Saima organizers is the most recent CTA? Yeah, I know this is an easy one. So whoever gets this wrong, you will be kicked out of this Zoom call right away. Yeah, 20, no brainer, but yeah, Meera, Neha, not yet, but future CTAs, and Johan is like the godfather of CTA. I think he passed like a century back. So, okay, so let's look at the leaderboard. Anish, Meera, James, Eddie, and then B. Okay, question number 2. Which of the following is not a valid license type?
I cannot see.
I love the employer community.
Don't give it away, Swet.
I just say I love it. That's all.
Okay, so I'm glad. I think that this will make Salesforce happy. I can screenshot this and send it to them. Okay, so let's look at the leaderboard. It will change. So the key is you answer it quickly and you answer it right. So as you see, Doria is on the leaderboard now. Gav is there, and then some of the questions will be tough. So some people will get it wrong. So tricky question. Which Salesforce product has never been renamed?
Sales Cloud. Who is that?
Somebody is giving away the answers. Yeah, it's Sales Cloud. So thankfully, they have not got to Sales Cloud yet. CPQ, Community Cloud, Salesforce Platform, all of them have been renamed at some point or the other. The Salesforce marketing team is always busy. So, okay, let's move on. Yeah, so Neha is on the leaderboard. Eddie is on the leaderboard. Jug is the highest climber. Anish and James still at the top. Question number 4. Which product will sync email, contacts, and events automatically from Outlook into Salesforce? This is a good one. And I think that some scenarios, it does talk about this product. So we'll see how many get it right. Relatively new product. I think most of you got it right. It's actually Einstein Activity Capture and combined with Salesforce Inbox. Okay, so let's look at what is happening now. Guess what? Who's on the top? It's James. And then Rupesh is climbing up the ladder. So we have James, Gav, Eddie, Lilith, CK. Question number 5. Which of the following is not an ESP or ETL?
New sub. Oh my gosh.
I think it's Crystal who's unmuted. It's funny to see her reactions, or hear it rather.
Yeah, so it is Datorama. Everything else is kind of in the ESP ETL iPass category. Okay, so let's look at. So just guess who just popped on the leaderboard. It's Sweth, and James still on top. And Gav, Eddie, Lilith, Sweth. And again, as I said, this can all change in a couple of questions. 4 questions remaining. Web to lead limit per day. You need to know your limits. Come on, beat the CTAs.
It's a no-brainer. Come on. Should make it a little more interesting, like Web 2Ks, you know.
Yeah, you're asking about more interesting. Look how many people got it wrong. But yeah, answer is 500, and I think some of you got it right. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, James never gets anything wrong. Okay, so yeah, 3 players just hit an answer streak of 5, and then the questions may get tougher. So keep going. You might still win. Question number 7. Key metric for ownership base queue. Number of records.
Low battery for me. If I drop, it's because of that.
Yeah,
Sure,
most of you
start
got it
making
right.
excuses if you become second, James.
Okay, so leaderboard changes. Eddie is on 3rd place. James, Gavi, Eddie, Lilith, Sweth, Neha is back in the game with 3 in a row. Last 2 questions. Come on. Which of these certs is not a part of CTA pyramid, not party? This should be easy.
It's a nail biter.
Yeah, most of you got it right. PD2 is not a part of it. App
I'm coming
Builder
for you,
is.
Lilith. I'm coming for you. 38 points behind.
Okay, let's see. So James, who's unmovable, Gav, Lilith, Sweth, and CK. Okay, last question. Everything to play for. Go for it. Which is not a valid example of a roll-up relationship? Yeah, most of you got it right. Account task, that's not a valid roll-up relationship. Okay, so drum rolls. Number 3, Lilith. Number 2, Gav, well done. Number 1, James. And I will just take a screenshot of this. And runners up, well done, CK and Sweth. You did phenomenally well. And let me just stop it. Yeah, that's it in terms of what we had for this specific event. And I'm hoping that all of you enjoyed. And thank you, Lilith. Thank you, James, and thank you, Chetan, for sharing your stories. Anything anybody would want to say? I think we still have like 8 minutes before we wrap it up. Floor is open.
I would like to thank you, actually, Gaurav. Sorry, Gav, I will leave you to it in a moment, or Scott. But I think, Gaurav, you did an awesome job. It was really, really fun. I also like that we finally got to meet actually our audience a bit more. So yeah, thank you so much. And thanks everyone for joining.
Yeah, thank you. Sweth?
I wanted to bring attention to something that we've all talked about here and there, but maybe not often enough. So when you're working with your coach one-on-one, personally, it makes a huge difference if I hear really positive reinforcement rather than, well, let's focus on all the things that you missed. That list is going to be shrinking, right? It actually tends to set me back a bit. I don't know, what is everybody else's opinion on that? Like,
yeah, I agree. For me, it's a fine balance. So definitely, I know that when I was preparing and Seb was coaching me, I think he was more in the role of cheerleader, because that's what I needed, because I was already insecure and nervous enough as it was. So I think it really depends. Your coach will likely see what style do you need. I don't think you need to, as a judge, really go nitpicking. If you feel that there's some bigger gaps, just point them that maybe read up on those. Just that list should not be 2 pages long, for example, right? And also, there's always good things there. And I think it's important to highlight those as well. So I agree with you. It's very draining if you only hear negative feedback. And also, there are some presentations that I've seen from people where there is room for improvement, but they're already very good. There's just some areas which need improvement. And I think if you bring it in that way, just improvement, it's not bad, but there are some minor tweaks that are easy to do that you can do. It will make it more manageable. So I completely understand, and I think it's an excellent point to raise.
Appreciate that.